following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
Coming to you live on tape on this Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. It is The Broken Remote. And we have quite a dish of content that has been just released. And it is the talk of the intranets, if you will.
Wait, that's today?
That is today. And usually we end up just opening up and bullshitting a little bit and catching up on this, that, the rest. And then we do the weave.
Do the weave.
No weave here. Because this is right in the face. It is the...
It came out of nowhere, dude. And it
really did, though, right?
I literally saw an ad for it like a week and a half ago. Went, what the hell is that? And the next thing I know, I'm seeing it on Netflix and just how much it cost.
I did not hear anything or see anything about it until it just popped up on my YouTube front page. And I was like, hold on. This looks to be like a pretty big event. How has this not been publicized at all? And what we're talking about is the Electric State, featuring the one Chris I've never met a paycheck I didn't like, Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
And
you gotta make that money while the sun shines, dude.
Exactly. And Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Millie, I'm not the Bobby Brown. And so the two of them are featured in it. It's got people out the fucking wazoo.
Everybody in this movie.
It's amazing.
For those of you who do not know, this is a movie that just came out on Netflix last week. No one has heard of it yet, even though I'm starting to see some advertisements. And it cost, I'm seeing it cost $320 million to make.
320.
Which, by the way, I don't know how you feel. I don't know where you want to jump in with this, dude, but like...
You jump in anywhere. It's all juicy.
I was going to say, like, I think we could both agree this was clearly money laundering, right? At some point.
I cannot, for the life of me...
There was a shell company made and someone that is going to lose their accounting license.
How did this get made? And to top it all off, right, you have those two as the leads. Mm-hmm. You have Stanley Tucci. You have Giancarlo Esposito.
Uh-huh.
You have the voices of, I think, Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Woody Harrelson.
Right,
he's Mr.
Alan
Peanut. And I don't even know who else. There are plenty of other people. On top of that...
The Gronk. The Gronk is a character.
Rob Gronkowski is the voice of something?
He's the voice of some robot, apparently.
No shit. You're listening to these voices and you're like, hold on, is that this and is that this? Now they did a thing up front with AI, so they brought back the voices of like Kurt Loder from MTV News fame.
Yeah, Bill Clinton.
It
was weird.
It really is flabbergasting. Is that flabbergasting? How many goddamn people are in this movie? It's nuts.
It
explains the $320 million.
Does it? Like, does Chris Pratt cost that much? I mean, Ke-Huy Quan. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to say this off the bat here. I think I'm going to say a lot because not all. I think a lot of those actors are talented. I don't think any of them showed up to try though, except for Ke-Huy Quan.
Zero.
He's the only one I think they gave remotely a shit about this movie.
He might have, but you know what? Like, okay, I saw Data in Goonies, and this is kind of like a modern day Goonies, and everything that I've seen him in now, since he came back on the scene. What was the movie again that brought him back on the scene?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yes,
he was great
that
in that.
was it.
He was great in that. Yeah.
And then after that, he got thrown into Loki, and then he was in this. But in all of these things, he's still doing kind of like the adult Data, right? Like, I'm waiting for him to turn around and be like, cover your heart, Mr. Jones. Cover your heart, Indy.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think you just hit on like the biggest thing about this movie, besides the obvious money laundering. Every character in this movie was playing like their typecast character that they're in every movie.
Yes!
Like Chris Pratt is playing Chris Pratt. Giancarlo Esposito is playing Giancarlo Esposito. He's just like a little more noble this time, but he's basically the exact same character.
He's Gus Fring.
He's the exact same character he was in the Captain America movie.
Right, which was the same exact character that he was in Breaking Bad.
Millie Bobby Brown is
7, but she talks a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. She's just being herself. She's not 7. It's 11, right? She's 11? Whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Who gives a fuck? I'm just going to say this, dude. I don't think she's a talented actress. I think 11 was like a really cool character back in the season 1 of Stranger Things. I also think it was like the least difficult to do because she just had to look sad and then do this to the camera where she put her hand up and then would make it shake and look angry.
Faux show. Now if I see her on TV, all of a sudden I hear in my head,
hey everybody, there's a shit cloud coming.
Because she is not good.
She needs to fire her agent potentially, or maybe not. I mean,
maybe not. Maybe he's getting her gigs that she shouldn't have anyway.
Yeah, maybe actually. Let me rethink this.
It's pretty amazing because the weird thing about Millie Bobby Brown right now is that she's 21 now or something.
Is she? How old is she? Let's find out.
She just got married. She's
only 21.
Yeah, I think so. And she got married like last year. She got married at 20 or something.
Jake Bon Jovi? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Bon Jovi's kid.
Yikes.
And like, it's really weird because she came out at the SAG Awards and she was all dolled up and she had this blonde hair and then she came out shitting on people because she was like, people are making fun of my appearances or something. And I'm like, I never heard anybody make fun of her. Like, who made fun of her? I don't understand why. But the brass tacks is that she's not a good actress.
No.
She's terrible.
I think she's been basically playing the same character every single movie. I think she got really lucky and she's got a good agent. And I think that's where the story ends.
I agree. Also weird is that they did a weird 80s thing in this movie where they just...
It was 90s, dude. Remember? We talked about this. We talked about this at UBS, dude. When Stranger Things Season 1 came out, how they're just doing all the stuff for the 80s and trying to capture that nostalgia. Now they're just like, we're out of ideas.
Yeah, well, they went to the 90s.
Let's make sure everyone's wearing a jean jacket for this one.
But what I actually meant, and hear me out here, is that in the 80s, which I know it's probably at the cusp of some of your...
What was that? I'm sorry, I don't believe in anything.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's a little outside the wheelhouse, but where they just cast characters that were actors that were 24 years old to play 18-year-old kids, and you saw them on stage, and you're like, "Hold on, Judd Nelson is in Saturday Night Attention."
John Travolta, he looks 18, he looks 14. Yeah.
It's just like, what are we doing here? And Millie Bobby Brown, they didn't even try to do any AI with this.
That was funny. That she's like, no, she's a high schooler. It's like,
I
think she looks at
right, and it was like she was supposed to be. I couldn't even tell the age thing because they did a flashback in the very beginning of the show with her and her brainiac brother. Which, oh my god, that fucking storyline.
Oh, dude. Oh my god. I don't even know There's so much to get into with this one because
there really is.
Here's the other thing: this movie's 2 hours long, and usually, there's a slow pace to some movies. Like, you're just meandering in this one location for too long. This one had attention deficit disorder. It felt like where every 5 minutes we were in a completely new location. You're like, yeah, so these characters are best friends now. So now they're heading over here. By the way, her parents are dead. Why they died? To a deer, not the robot war that we just established, which would make way more narrative sense. No. By the way, now they have new robot friends who are now the new friends, including Mr. Peanut, voice of Woody Harrelson. Now they're attacking the main compound. Are you caught up? Are you caught up? It's been 2 hours.
Do you know what the most interesting part of the movie was? Was the part we didn't even see. I would have rather have seen the robot war.
Oh, you mean the part that would have been infinitely more exciting?
Oh my god!
Watching them trudge around some Australian landscape.
And the directors were the goddamn Russo brothers. It was the the tandem that brought you both of the biggest Avengers movies ever. Like, that's what they did. Like, they made their bank on big action flicks. And here they took it. They were like, nah, we're going to do like 15 minutes at the beginning of the movie, and we're going to do all the action there.
Dude, I saw it was them, and I was like, are they the same ones that did, because I knew they did Avengers, obviously. There was another Netflix movie that came out a few years ago called The Gray Man. Did you watch it?
No, but I've heard all about it, and I heard it was also awful.
It was really bad, too. And it was like, you just get so many of the same flavors in your mouth where you're going, you are the guys that did like some of the best Marvel movies. Like, what happened?
It's amazing, right?
You see a bunch of the same Marvel actors, but it is just like in The Gray Man, it's like Ryan Gosling. You're going to play the exact same character you played in Blade Runner 2049. No differences whatsoever. Chris Evans was the only one who gave a shit in that movie. He was the only entertaining part.
Right. He seems to do a good job in anything he does, to be honest.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know if he's got range, but I do enjoy the effort he puts in.
That was another one, dude, where it was so expensive, and you watch the movie and you go, really? You shot on like 3 locations, and there was like a cool traffic scene, but that cost $200 million? I think they're committing fraud. I think that's just a fact at this point.
Well, to an extent, yes. To an extent, I will say this about the movie, and I can't not say it. So the movie features robots all over the goddamn place, right? Mm-hmm. So even though Chris Pratt is doing Star-Lord and Millie Bobby Brown is doing 11, and everybody's just doing their same fucking character that they are.
Exactly.
The robots that they have in the movie look fucking good.
They did look good. I did like the CGI. I like the design.
The CGI looked good in this. Like almost to a point, like when they first did the walk-in scene, and it's the the brother in the robot body, and I'm looking at the robot boots, and I'm looking at and I'm watching. I'm like, oh fuck, this is like, yeah, this cost a lot of money. Like, this doesn't look like junk. This actually looks okay. I mean, it's completely uninteresting because the premise is ridiculous, but
yeah,
the robots look all right. So
do we get into that? Like, I don't know if we even need to bring this up because the movie just is so much other. I mean, the plot is whatever. You've seen this plot. Whoever's watched, if you're wondering, if you're listening to this, have I seen this movie? Maybe I'll take it a look. No, you've seen this movie 80 million times. It's where
you've seen all 15 of the movies that made up this movie.
Yeah, there was a war that happened, a corporation that heavily profited from the war. Turns out they're not maybe the good guys that are heavily influencing politics, and a ragtag group of 2 people get this rebel group to rise up and stop the evil corporation. It's been done a million times. It's going to be done a million more times.
Let's do that then, right? So we already talked about the actors that are in the movie. We talked about the directors. So what is the movie, though? Without going in, you just have to watch it. If you have not watched it, you're listening to this podcast, just tune in. Just take 2 hours out of your time.
Just 2 hours, dude.
Just 2 hours. Just sit on your couch. Be prepared to watch an awful fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Turn
it
it on and just thoroughly enjoy at how shitty this movie is. But let's talk about all the movies that made this movie up, so that when you, the viewer, are watching this movie, you know exactly, oh, yeah, that's right. That was that. So,
yeah.
I mean...
this is that scene from Star Wars that they just copy-pasted and they just, put their characters over top.
I'll go right out of the gate, Ready Player One. Because you've seen Ready Player One, yes?
I Ready Player One, and what was that movie with Bruce Willis? Do you remember the Surrogates?
The Surrogates.
What's it called? The Surrogates? It's like the same concept where everyone's like using this like remote VR goggles to control like androids or something.
That rings
like
a bell, but I haven't seen it, and so I don't know the name.
I think it's literally called Surrogates. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, Surrogate. Yeah, that's literally the name of it. It's the same thing.
So, Surrogate, Ready Player One, why do we say that? Because they create this VR world where everybody and their brother exists in it, and it bifurcates the brain, and so you can actually do work, through a robot that you control, but then your brain can go off in this meta universe and go date hot chicks and do fun shit. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, and they throw George Costanza in as the adopted parent.
Say, dude, I literally was like, "Is that George Costanza?" When you're watching the movie, I'm like,
Jerry.
Jason
right?
Alexander? Is that George Costanza? And then it is. And I'm like, this is a waste of Jason I'm glad he's getting work, but
I mean,
like,
it
what
really.
a waste of him.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh,
Stanley
dude,
Tucci signed up for this fucking movie. Can you believe that?
Okay, hear me out. And back
Does
to the
he
actors.
need the money that bad that he would sign up for this?
I think he's going through a divorce, so he might. He may.
See what he did there?
So Stanley Tucci, dude. I'm not sure if he or Chris Pratt. It was Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt cared less. Never mind, I lied. I was not sure who cared less. Chris Pratt did not give a fuck about that movie.
Dude, they called him up and he was like, "Can I just do Star-Lord?" And they're like, "But like, you need to be a new character. Can you give me different hair?
You need to wear a really bad hairpiece if that's chill."
Yeah, so just give me the hairpiece and then I'll do Star-Lord. It sounds like perfect for this role. Okay, fine, do it. And that's what he did. They just fucking did Star-Lord for 2 hours. I mean, with not a whole lot of effort either. So you have Ready Player One and you have Surrogate because they wear these fucking head goggles, right? I mean, that was one. I mean, Terminator for 2, even though it's kind of not, but like all these goddamn robots that take over the world. And to that event, it's kind of War of the Worlds, right? I mean, either the one in the 60s or you could just do the Tom Cruise one where these robots take over everything and they come out of nowhere. I mean, it's part kind of, you want to go Goonies?
It had an element of it, I feel like, in the beginning. A little bit of, like, there's just a flavor of it. I don't know how to describe it, but there's like something Goonie to it. It was, they're in Chris Pratt's like secret base with all the 90s stuff. I feel like that was
Jesus. Wow. If you weren't going for like the cheap, throwback
he is
novelty.
Throwing, like, my He-Man lunchbox and my Pokemon trading cards and my like
G.I. Joe lunchbox.
My G.I. Joe lunchbox. Yeah, just like, we get it, dude.
And they've got the Nintendos behind him, and they've got the Bass Fish. Oh, the Bass Fish going off when the stupid robot was walking by and that revealed their location.
Everyone and their mother knew where this was going to go.
Right.
It had a lot of that, like...
Well, that's stolen right out of Loverboy with Patrick Dempsey, which may be out of your wheelhouse as well, because that was earlier. But does it ring a bell? Loverboy? Patrick Dempsey. Extra anchovies.
Oh, Loverboy.
He's a pizza. For those that have not seen it, he's a pizza delivery boy, and he ends. If you order extra anchovies, he woos the female that ordered the extra anchovies, and he's really great in the sack, and so they're ordering anchovies all over the place. Well, anyway, he's hooking up with this Asian woman, and she's married to some really rough and, tumble American guy who imports all these Japanese toys. And one of them is this thing that detects motion. So the one scene, he's in the bedroom, and one of these little robot toys sees him, and I forget, the toy says something stupid. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He kind of does an accent, just like Trey Parker and Matt Stone in South Park. That's pretty hysterical. And that reveals where Patrick Dempsey is, and then he's got to run out of the house, and the husband's chasing him. Anyway, as soon as I saw that bass fish, I'm like, oh shit, this is the Loverboy scene. He's gonna walk past and it's gonna give his location, etc. And so that was that scene. But I mean, the movies go on and on and on. We've seen this movie. We've seen this movie.
It was crazy. There was so much of it, dude. You're like, I've seen this all before. A lot of just the same ground and stuff. It's weird because the Russo brothers are clearly really talented, and it's just this and the Gray Man dude, which cost an astronomical amount. Like, how much did Endgame cost?
Oh, Endgame made their money back.
I mean, I'm sure they did. I just want to see, like, Avengers, Endgame.
You take $320 million, and here's where it goes. Right down the shitter.
Like, this was about...
I can't help it, Don.
This movie cost about what Avengers Endgame cost.
I mean...
I didn't expect that at all.
Me either.
What?
Not to mention, it didn't even go to the theater.
It also had, like, a fucking third of the cast that Endgame did, with Robert Downey Jr. probably taking, like, $40 million off the top.
I have to know how this didn't make it to the theater. How do you spend $320 million on a movie and not send it to the theater to try to collect some kind of revenue?
Do you think it actually costs less, but they just like literally write off like millions and millions of dollars to go to these? Like, does Netflix have an accounting department? I'm genuinely curious now because it feels like they just write checks and they're like, yeah, this will come out fine.
This $320 million is sans any kind of marketing and advertising, because this was not marketing or advertised at all.
Fuck, you're so dude.
I know.
Oh my god.
I saw somebody write an article about this, and they compared it to The Force Awakens because The Force Awakens cost something like 400 something million when it came out. But I think adjusted for inflation, it ends up being closer to like 500 or 600. However, that movie made $1 billion plus. This movie made absolutely zero.
We messed up in our careers, dude. What we should have done is just become Hollywood accountants. We just get our CFAs or CPAs, whatever we need to do, and then just walk in Hollywood and say, we'll cook the books. We don't care. We are Will and Rich. We will do any job, no matter the cost. This is the budget you need for the electric state. You say it's only going to take $100 million. What if it was 3 times that, and we all pocketed the 200 there?
The money had to go somewhere. Because it could not have gotten in this movie.
Yeah, the Russo brothers community pool, dude. That's where it went. Their slew of Russian prostitutes they hired.
Because even, let's say you pay Chris Pratt. What is Chris Pratt going to charge? Right? 10 mil, maybe, for this?
Let's look it up. I mean,
he's probably not doing 20 mil.
Level.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Is he on the level of getting the 20 mil? I don't even know if 20 mil is the mark anymore. Maybe it's 30, 40 mil. But yeah, Chris Pratt for this movie signs up for what, 10 mil? Bobby Brown signs up for 4 or 5.
I'm looking literally through it right now. I'm trying to see what they may have put it on.
Stanley Tucci takes like $2 million. Giancarlo Esposito takes
they're like,
$2 million.
The robots were the most expensive part. Like, they did look good, like you said, but like, how much could they have gotten? Like, this is crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You try to put together, because you have no marketing or advertising, what the $320 million goes to, and
what is
I
their
guess
plan
it's a lot
for these movies? Why does Netflix make these? I don't get it.
Well,
it's so much money, and like,
there we go.
You have to make a big win. I feel like you're not getting a good return on investment for this.
That's the question of all questions, and we talked about this at UBS. What I said to you back in the day, look, Will, here's the deal. Companies used to be made to make money, and then they generated money, and then they were sold off or they went incorporated. No company like Netflix, where you just burn cash continually, ever survives. And here we are, 9 years later, where this company not only is still surviving, is like a rocket ship, is basically the future of broadcasting.
Did I tell you what my final thesis was for my MBA?
No.
It was for Netflix. They consulted with us, and so I was like one of the guys on the team, and it was about how they wanted to buy this giant parcel of land to make like a studio in New Jersey for like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Dude! They're doing that. You know that, right?
I know. I ran through it. That's how I know it.
That's amazing.
We're like, I guess you could. You get some tax breaks here, but like, it's a lot of money. You're not going to be able to film things for God knows how long. And they're just like, interesting. And that was all they said to us.
They get no box office because they never put their movies out in the box office.
Mm-hmm.
So they are a pure subscription model. Now, they are trying to get into live TV. They're also trying to do these stupid low-tier, low-price tiers that have ad revenue.
Yeah, they add stuff still.
Everybody understands now that the reason that cable TV works so goddamn well is because they have advertisers. And
it's almost like that's a cornerstone for why it works. Oh, right? It's so strange. Right. Yeah.
But we did this bullshit where we tried to get rid of advertising, only to find out that model doesn't work mathematically. So now we're going back to it. Okay, whatever. But I just don't understand what Netflix wanted out of this movie. There's got to be some documentary down the road that goes into the making of the Electric State and why it happened, because I can't figure it out.
No, it's not going to come out for like 10 years. You're like, what? Chris Pratt does cost $200 million? Crazy. Or $200 million.
Imagine he did. Imagine it's like we find out later that he charged $30 million for this, and the Russos
there's
were like,
a clause. There's a clause in his entire contract that he has to wear the hairpiece, so that's an extra $5 million they have to pay him. That's why they made him take it off. It's like, well, we can't afford $5 million. How about $3 million? You only get it for 2/3 of the movie. Then
I've got another question for you. Hold on one second here. In the beginning of the movie, right? Chris Pratt was also the army guy, right?
Yeah,
that
he's the same army guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So why does one become an army guy all the way to a smuggling trucker with a crazy weird hairdo? A hairdo that, mind you, later on in the movie vanishes.
I mean,
and it just goes back to normal Chris Pratt hair. Why did he do that?
Do I have to say it? He's Han Solo. I mean, they're just trying to make him Han Solo.
Oh, my God. That is hysterical. I was listening to the Ringer podcast. Which Ringer podcast? I forgot. It was something about their box office podcast. And the people there that were talking. I really wanted to do this show before I listened to that podcast because it ended up doing it. They ended up doing a similar podcast. However, I wanted to listen to it because I was interested. And ultimately, they called him Han Solo too. So great minds think alike.
I was gonna say, he had the same outfit, dude. He came on screen. I was going. I know there was talks about him being Indiana Jones at some point.
Was it really?
This is there was at some point apparently because he looks like a younger Harrison Ford. He could have done it, maybe, if he tried. It's just like,
yeah, he's a little too poppy, right? You need. He's smug enough. He's smug enough, but he needs to be a little more gruff. I don't think he's gruff enough. Does that make sense?
If he flexed his acting chops, I think he could do it. And I think he is just like, why would I do that when people pay me $25 million for 3 months of work to just be myself again? Which, fair. I mean, I have no arguments for that.
I'm trying to find out here the Electric State cost and where did it go to see what pops up. The Electric State budget explained. How did it become Netflix?
Yeah, I'm looking at the same article right now.
Most expensive movie ever. What?
There's some executive there. It's like, dude, we got the Russo brothers. We got Chris Pratt. We got Millie Bobby Brown. There's no way this movie doesn't make money. Have whatever amount of budget you want, and then they just make this. And dude, that South Park bit I sent you earlier, you got to play that at some point.
Oh, I did.
I was gonna say
I did. I don't think I can. I think the thing is dead, so I can't. I
so
will stream it
close.
right here.
I mean, I will
spoil. It's completely on point.
I was gonna say it's just Butters in South Park, basically just ranting about how no one in these firms care because they're gonna get fired in 3 years, and they just want to make their mint before they're let go, and then the company just gets sold off.
Yeah, hold on one second. You sent it to me. We'll do it this way because this will work. This is going to sound like shit because it's going to be my phone to the microphone in front of my face. But
it's okay. They hear me through this microphone every single time they listen to this podcast. So this is the least of their issues.
Cartman, come on. That looks like shit.
Come on what, Cal?
Look, I know we're making a lot of these, but we still have to make them look nice.
Does it really matter?
Yes, it matters. The streaming services are paying for nice boats. They don't give a fuck, Cal. They're going to take everything they can get. Everyone knows at the end of the day, there's only going to be 3 streaming services, so everyone just wants to have their shit on their stream and get bought out. And they don't give a fuck how good anything is. And the people who made all the deals, well, they don't give a fuck because they're all going to get fired anyway.
Hearing Butters curse is great.
Streaming service is now working over. If that streaming service, no one gives a shit about what fucking goes on in it. Butters, I think you've had too many popsicles. Yeah, I think they had one too many popsicles.
He's
so awesome.
Him and Carmen are the best two characters in that show.
Oh, for sure. Always has been. Butter was a fantastic addition.
That came out 3 years ago, that episode, or 2 years ago. I don't know. Time flies by. But yeah, it's what you said 10 years ago. and it's right now, and it's still nothing has happened.
Nothing's
And it's
happened.
Shocking.
They just fucking crank out shit. It's like they did the same thing with. Did you ever watch The Irishman? That disaster.
No, I heard it was incredibly long, and I'm going to be honest. I think Martin Scorsese is a little overrated sometimes.
Oh no, early Scorsese's good.
No, early. No, I agree. Early. I meant what I said.
Goodfellas. Now,
I meant more recently. Martin Scorsese.
Oh yeah, no, hot shit. The Departed was a parting gift that he should have gotten Best Director for something else, not for The Departed. The Departed's okay. But
that one was when he got the rewards because they're like, oh, we think we owe him. Let's just give it to him for this movie. I'm pretty sure that's what happened for that.
That's it. You know, now a lot of people like Goodfellas over Casino. I'm a Casino guy every single day, twice on Sunday. I think Casino was the greatest shit that he ever did. I really, the soundtrack, the cinematography. Every time I see Casino, I can sit and watch it. Goodfellas, sometimes I can, but usually I'll punch out at this point, at that point. Casino, I'll just watch all the way to the end. And he's had a lot of other ones after that. You know, Raging Bull to start it off, and Taxi.
I would say I like Wolf
Taxi
on Wall
Driver.
Street, but I would say I like Wolf on Wall Street, but it's inspired the biggest shitheads I've ever known to join finances. So no, just
has that really had an after effect on people that get into it?
I don't know about people that get into it, but I think it gives them an idea of what to expect. And there's a lot of. Not everyone's like this. Plenty of normal people, but there's a lot of like dudes that will like openly brag about the amount of Adderall they're doing, and have like that hustle Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie mindset. Like, come on, man! If you're not working every single if you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You got to make the sale. And like I've met enough people like that now, where I go, damn it, son of a bitch.
Well, I would not have thought that was still embraced, that approach. But, you know.
I think it's my generation mainly because that's like when we were joining the workforce. This is what was kind of.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, you go through. Scorsese's got really some ringers in here. You know, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull. A lot of people like King of Comedy. I'm a huge Color of Money fan. People don't like Color of Money. That was with Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. It was a follow-up to Minnesota Fats, or what the hell was the? It was Fast Eddie Felson. I can't remember but it was an old school black and white pool movie, and The Color of Money was the follow-up to it. I thought Tom Cruise was awesome in that, as was Newman. And some people didn't. Temptation of Christ, Goodfellas. You know, now we start getting into where like everybody and their brother couldn't get enough of them. Cape Fear, Casino, Bringing Out the Dead. That was Nicolas Cage, maybe. Yeah, it was Nicolas Cage. I think that was a fucking gutter movie.
I was going to say Nicolas Cage is an incredibly talented actor.
Yeah, I want to say he drove around in an ambulance.
You can tell when tax season's around for Nicolas Cage. It's just another one of those.
Faux show.
I like being movie scary. Have you seen that video that Nicolas Cage's agent?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so that's you. You'll watch that later, but that's just a great take on him.
Here's going backwards. Some of the Maestro, which came out in 2023. He was the director. Oh, no, Bradley Cooper was the director. He must have been a producer or something. The Irishman, which we talked about. Silence was his movie before that. The Wolf of Wall Street. Hugo. Oh, that was his dipping his toe into animation, if I'm not mistaken. There's that Shutter Island. I like Shutter Island too. Did you ever see Shutter Island?
So yes, that one was obvious. The ending.
Yeah. I mean, but
yeah.
Entertaining regardless.
Nicolas Cage one here. But yeah, Electric State though, dude. I mean, just end of the day. I don't know how we got it. What are we talking about?
We were doing Scorsese.
Oh, Irishman.
Irishman
yeah,
is where we started. Yeah, because I was talking about high-end Netflix movies that there was some CGI and production costs and all the rest of it. And Irishman was one of them. But they had De Niro in that, and they tried to do a lot of the money spent on that was on CGI as well. In this case, it was the de-aging of the de-aging of De Niro. And he has this scene. Have you ever seen it where he goes and he tries to beat the shit out of the guy that owns the deli?
Yeah, that one I've seen. That was on like all over YouTube.
And it looks like a 90-year-old guy.
Just watching him throw his back up.
Oh, Jesus.
Let me show you something, sonny boy.
That's exactly what it looks like, man. It's just get a body double. Like, it doesn't have to be De Niro. This looks terrible. It was so
Netflix
bad.
had like one movie because they're trying to like I think break in like we're gonna take over movie theaters with the home theater here, and I feel like they're just really missing the bag in a lot of places.
I still just can't understand. Look, you have I don't know how many tens of millions. What is your subscriber base? It's got to be in the 100 millions. Maybe national, international. I mean, everybody and their brother. So you do that times, $10 a month.
Paid subscribers. Okay,
How many?
Not bad. 300 million.
300 million, right?
Which is not as many as I thought it was. Damn. Okay.
So 300 million, you charge a dollar a month, and you're getting 300 million every month. Times 10, it's a lot of money. I mean, I understand it. But the things that they're making so much shit. They're paying for so much stuff. And now they're going into, I guess they must have money then because they're paying, they got into NFL. They got into wrestling. I mean, WWE Raw is on Netflix and only Netflix. They're doing all kinds of, they kept talking about them possibly doing new stuff down the line. And I heard somebody talking about how somebody in Netflix is basically kind of waiting for Lorne Michaels to peace out because then they want to do some kind of live sketch comedy show, which they're doing with John Mulvaney. He'll be on later on tonight. Today is Wednesday, right? Oh, he's on right now, actually. Have you watched the John Mulvaney show talking about
I love John Mulaney. I've not watched the new one. I watched the old one he had. Which was like a quick 4-episode thing. That was really solid.
This is that.
Great thing. It's that again.
It's that again. They changed the name. He talked about it in last week's episode. They changed the name because people didn't like the LA thing. So now I think it's live with John.
Fair.
Mulaney, yeah.
But he's great. I love John Mulaney. He is incredible. I've been listening to him since I was in college.
Yeah, I don't know if I like him as much as a writer or a host. I don't know where I like his stuff. I don't like his stand-up as much as I like his sketch stuff that he does and the writing and all the rest of it. Like his stand-up was okay. I feel like writing might be
I've heard his stand-up dude on loop for whatever reason in my college and in my fraternity specifically. We really liked him. I listened to his 2 earliest albums on nonstop repeat to the point that it is just literally keyed into the nostalgia vein of my brain. And his newer ones I just like because I think I've listened to him so many times. I think he's good. I don't think he's like the best, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and he's crazy popular right now. I just turned.
What happens when you cheat on your wife with Olivia Munn? Oh, my
Who
God.
was he married to before?
Some chick. I don't know. She seemed nice.
She seemed nice. Did he have kids with her and now he's with Mund?
No, they said they were never going to. He was never interested in having kids. Now he's got like 2 with Olivia Munn.
With Mund, right. Okay. I do remember reading something about that.
I don't want kids with you. Oh, whoopsie.
He talked about Mund had some crazy cancer, I guess?
Something like that. I don't know.
He talked about it episode 1 or whatever. But yes, that show is returned. It's under a different name, but it's the same show. Now it's called Live with John Mulaney.
That's funny.
Instead of
LA.
something
like,
else. Something LA, right? Live from LA or something.
Everything he's just funny. That was when it was like we last time we talked about the other reality shows or whatever they are, not the reality shows, the late night shows.
Yes.
Like a solid take or spin or whatever it is on it. It was just so much more refreshing than Jimmy Fallon or the other Jimmy or the other Jimmy.
Oh yeah, I can't do them anymore. We sort
Or-
of, Carson was one of its own. Look, Leno did a good job. We talked about Conan. Conan did a great job, and Letterman was obviously, front and foremost in trying to change what late night was at the time. Right now, everybody's kind of doing their own spin on it, but I do agree that this Mulaney approach probably is something that I would still have interest in.
Honestly, it is not as good as Ellen, having Abu Ghraib right behind the set of her stage there and watching her just
See what he did there?
her putting, connecting the battery of a car to the nipples of like an intern that displeased her one day. But it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good.
It does sound like she was quite
I
a
said
bitch.
I wanted soy milk, you son of a. Oh wait, we're on. Hey everyone, it's me, Ellen. Yeah, this guy, little curmudgeon. We'll get back to him later.
She's been basically Louis C.K.'d, right? She's gone.
I think
We're not going to
everyone's
hear from
like,
her again.
Yeah, I think she who knows where the fuck she and her wife ran off to. I think she did a special actually.
Recently?
Yeah, like afterward, and she's like, "Yeah, I was canceled." Like she was trying to like come back and be like, "Listen."
She tried
you
to
have
play the witty, I'm
understand.
ahead of the game.
It's like,
approach.
listen, I get it. I was canceled. Listen, I'm not the nicest person, but I'm a nice person. It was not as big a deal as they made it seem. That's supposedly what she did. I saw like a couple clips of it. That's as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't. Is Louis C.K. even?
Listen, she had other things she had to go do. She had to go to a couple different prisons down south where they have a couple less laws. Make sure she could waterboard some of those prisoners. Go to Guantanamo Bay. Make sure she could really take up her new career as a warden.
What are you referencing? Because I don't.
No. This is just me saying what Ellen's doing now.
Oh,
this is what
okay.
I'm looking up. Yeah.
I thought you were referencing something that
didn't
happened.
land at all. I'm just trying to remember the name of Guantanamo Bay, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's been shut down. The fuck is that prison called? I'll take it.
I'm looking at Louis C.K. here. He used to do specials that he used to sell on his website, and now it doesn't look like he does. Now it's just him and his ridiculous tour. I didn't even know he was on tour.
I mean, I would watch him. I would 100% go to see him live.
See all shows and specials. Will this tell me when they came out? These are $5. Wow. Louis C.K. Back to the Garden, $5. This was recorded January 28th, 2023. So this stuff is, newer.
I feel like he still has an audience, dude. I mean, I would 100% go see him if he was doing a live show.
I'm not saying he doesn't have an audience, but I will say I never hear that audience. I never hear anybody talking about it. I never hear anybody saying, hey, did you
I
see
think
that
that's
new-"
also him. I think he's just like, listen, I got my mint. I'm like, what am I doing this for? I mean, obviously, he still wants to do stand-up, and he probably has friends, but it's just like, it's got to be exhausting.
He's not on podcasts. He's nowhere.
He did do one of the best podcast series I've ever listened to was him and Shane Gillis going through all the U.S. presidents because they're both history buffs.
Never even heard about it, but I'm sure it's pretty good.
You have to listen to it. One, you're going to learn a bunch of random stuff about U.S. presidents. Two, it's just them literally ripping on each other in between like every other president with just like the most frat bro level humor. It is. And then also it's Louis C.K., so we'll talk about like the modern day people, and he has a story about like everyone in modern day politics because he was on top of the world.
What year was that?
This came out like 2 years ago.
Oh wow, that's really new.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I don't see Louis do anything. I never see him on anything.
No.
I never hear from him. Let's see where his tour is, and we'll get back to Electric State, obviously, but. All right, so his tour is, sold out. It's starting up, it looks to be April. And is it coming around here? Let's go New Jersey, New York. It's probably going to, the whole thing is sold out. You can get early and late shows in Connecticut. Wow, look at all of these sold out fucking shows. You got to go all the way to August to start getting tickets. And that's in Grand Rapids. You can see him in Michigan, in Indianapolis, New Orleans. He never comes to New York? Wow, that's crazy.
The last people he wants to watch, dude.
I guess Boston, three shows, Boston, October, all sold out. And he's not doing Philadelphia. He's down there. You can go see him at the Kimmel Center. Oh, he is coming to New York.
We're just plugging for him now.
I know. That is New York. So he's playing the Beacon. He's doing 2 nights in the Beacon around Thanksgiving. They're both sold out. He's doing 3 nights in Brooklyn, King's Theater. I don't know where that is. November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And you can see the first 2. The last one is sold out. Single seats available. So the Beacon is where you want to see him, and that sucker's sold out. And as is his California dates. Pretty impressive, I will tell you. For a guy that you do not see anywhere, hear anything from, who had a rock star career until women came out and said, oh, yeah, he used to lock the door and stand in front of it and then jerk off while he stared at us, which I guess in hindsight isn't the best thing.
And don't do that.
Don't do that. But would you have thought that story from a comedian, a female comedian, who, if I'm not mistaken, ultimately turned around and was like, yeah, no, like I wasn't threatened or anything. I just thought it was like weird and like
defended creepy. Him. I think she was like, yeah, it was just fucking weird. Like he literally.
It was just weird, right? Like she didn't feel threatened.
I mean, for that one, dude, I think it was literally just when it came out because it was right, like 3 days after the Harvey Weinstein, like the peak.
It was Me Too Central.
Yeah, the peak, like, degenerates that were getting caught for the Me Too shit. And you're just like, by the way, Louis C.K. did this. And he's like, wait, what did I do? And then just immediately just shotgun blasted the top half of his body.
Right. It was apex Me Too.
It was just, you see just 2 legs just standing there like a Looney Tunes cartoon. And one just actually falls over. He's like, what did I do?
What happened?
That was 30 years ago. Oh man.
I do want to say, didn't he try to play it off though that it was a long time ago as well?
I think so. I mean,
there was a couple of twists he tried to get out of it, but now weren't they still making Louis C.K. the show at the time?
He was coming out with a movie, I think actually too. He directed a movie that was about to come out that was all filmed, and then like all the actors like that were in it that were friends are like, dude, we're not like. I'm sorry, you're not taking us with you. You need to either shelve this movie for a while or...
Yeah, that's got to be 7 to 8 years ago at this point, right?
Yeah. It was like 2017. He had like a big special. I remember watching that, and then like literally 2 months later, and he's gone.
I'm surprised that he has not come back. That's shocking to me because I thought...
he was going to star in Electric State, dude, and then all of a sudden...
He should have. He should have. Like, like James Franco, I get it. You basically, like, sounds like he raped girls, and dropped stuff in their drinks.
That's another one, dude. You're like, what happened?
Yeah, and so I can understand him being gone. Louis C.K., it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's also funny that James Franco's...
Anyway.
It's funny James Franco is gone because literally his brother has just like stepped into where he was.
Yeah, right?
Like, here's younger, hotter James Franco.
You'll do.
Yeah.
Fuck your brother. You're fine.
Oh, is there a hole left behind by James? Oh, well, not anymore.
Out you go, in with the new. But yeah, back to Electric State because you mentioned it, and that's where we were going. Whether it is just the repeat of a movie you've already seen, actors and actresses just mailing it in across the board. It's CGI that cost arms and legs, even though you never really asked for it. This movie, the Russo brothers being the guys at the helm, this movie stinks on all levels. It's amazing that it got made. It's not amazing that there's so many people talking about it because it really was horrific. Even the jokes, the punchlines, that shit's all been done too. The writing was so bad.
It was just like it was just so standard Marvel affair. It was just like such a watered down version of Avengers, is what it felt like because it had all the same flippant actors as all the Avengers movies did.
With characters we didn't care about.
Exactly, and you're just watching, you're going like, this movie costs just as much, and yet I'm getting like half of everything. Like okay, I know you said the movie was terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was like a 5 out of 10.
That's really generous, bro.
But that's like, you gotta understand, like, 1 is the worst movie I've ever seen. 5 is like right in the middle. I have no thoughts on it. It is as standard and bland as possible. And for 300 million,
okay.
I want to feel something. Like, I think maybe my metric's off there, in that this is not me saying I'm giving it a C grade. I'm just like, I have nothing.
You're doing the work poll with the radio buttons. 6 is very likely. 1 is not likely.
Yes.
And 5 is neutral. So you're going neutral.
I'm going neutral, but for 300 million, dude, I should feel something.
Yeah, I don't know. So in the neutral thing, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't not recommend it. I probably would more recommend it than not recommend it, only so that you could laugh at how shitty the movie is.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, you watch it, and everyone, once you hear how much it cost, I think everyone's going to go, wait, what?
But if I am grading this movie, it is way lower than a 5. You know, I wanted to throw this your way. Have you seen any of Suits LA?
No.
Did you watch any of the original Suits?
I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but it's never something like I binged through, even though I know that's where Netflix is making all their money now.
Suits.
Just binging Suits.
The original Suits is formulaic to the nth degree. However, it works. The characters are kind of fun. You know, there are not many people that I met that said Suits sucked. There are plenty of people that said, yeah, but it's the same episode for 8 seasons. Yeah, okay, fine. You got that. The new Suits, which is Suits LA, because NBC was like, we need a network show. Let's go back to the trough, and we'll just take Suits. We'll dust it off.
These fucking pigs will eat whatever slop we throw in front of them.
Yo, man, Suits LA is the laziest, worst TV show I have seen in 20 fucking years.
Is it the same actors?
No,
My voice
but
didn't crack there.
the old lead actor who played a guy by the name of Harvey, he just came back in the most recent episode to do like kind of a flashback.
Hey guys, it's me. What's up?
Yeah, and you see him with the new lead actor, and you just said to yourself, "Oh fuck, you guys were so good, and these guys suck so bad. You shouldn't have done this flashback. This is just killing the show even more." But dude, everything about this new Suits LA is terrible. The writing, people talk and then they stop so the other people could talk, because that's how we write. Because we don't understand the natural flow of conversation. We'll have people talking over top of each other. So it's like, here's my line. Here's my line. Here's my joke. Ha 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 ha. Here's my joke. It is
how much
so awful.
Of that note, dude, because you just brought up a great point, because I didn't even think about that. Electric State clearly used AI for like the voice of Bill Clinton. How much of the script do you think was,
dude, the whole movie,
right?
Well, so
here's a character that we're going to use that is Chris Pratt. Give him Chris Pratt lines.
Yes, exactly.
I'm shocked to meet you. I'm shocked to meet you.
Oh my God! When they were held, when Giancarlo Esposito held them up, and Pratt had his stupid Star-Lord lines.
Oh,
that
my God,
was
dude.
AI generated fucking scripts.
You could just feel
right
it
there. Now, the base material came from not only a comic book or a graphic novel. Did you know that the graphic novel was also crowdfunded?
Oh, you mean the original guy? No, I heard the graphic novel was good from what I was reading.
It might be,
about
but the graphic novel was crowdfunded. It was like hey, I've got an idea. Everybody pitched in, and that's how the fucking the graphic novel got made.
That's kind of badass. Not gonna lie.
Not. That's badass. That's hell yeah. That's badass because now it's a fucking $320 million movie.
He better have gotten some into that. I don't know. If he did.
I wonder if the crowd people get it though. Does it filter down?
No.
Probably not, right? Because the crowdfund is always cuts off any attachment to the project itself. You're just basically
you give me $5, I'll give you an early copy of my
and that's
thing
it.
when it's done.
Yeah, and that's it. So, I mean, but you took that graphic novel and then you made this out of it. So, a little oddball part. But yeah.
And that's why I'm telling everyone here today I am quitting my job to make my new crowdfunded novel, which will be called The Electric Steak 2 Electric Boogaloo.
See what he did there? Shit, good for him. And those that don't know, that's a fantastic movie. A terrible sequel, but a fantastic movie. Turbo and Ozone. And what the fuck was her name? I can't remember the fucking lead girl's name. But continue.
Yeah, so stay tuned, basically, is what I'm saying.
Stay tuned. Well, actually, that's about an hour there, and we probably could go on for another hour with the electric state, but we will not. We'll punch out here, wrap it up on the hour mark, and see if we want to venture back. I really want you to watch Suits LA so we could shit on that.
I am curious. I might turn that on as like my regular show now.
There's so much stuff. I mean, there was other things that I wanted to get into that we haven't here. We'll hold off and we'll see naturally where we land next week.
Yeah, we can go into Snow White maybe next week. I don't know.
Oh, the initial things came in, not looking good.
Not looking good.
No, 38% I think on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So
I'm sure it only cost a couple dollars. Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff to talk about, and we'll see where we go. But for now, Electric State, we'll put it to bed. That one was a stinkaroo, boys. But go watch it. It's worth it. Trust us.
Good job, Russo brothers. And if you're hiring, I'll cook the books for you.
All right, everybody else, peace out. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you later on the manja.